A gaze of regret, yeah. Let's talk about Eric Adame, who is opening up about what his life has been like since being fired over a year ago from NY1. Now, for those of you who need a bit of a refresher, Adame, who is 40, was fired after a shady anonymous viewer mailed screenshots of the meteorologist moonlighting as a chatterbait cam model to his job, his mother, and his boyfriend. Now, since his termination, he has launched a subscription-only weather service. What you thought I was going to say? OnlyFans and also works as a host at a New York restaurant. Now, Adame recently, sat down with Ricky Cornish and opened up about his life post exposure. I actually like Ricky Cornish. Where he's been interviewing a lot of celebrities. But what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna play this clip in case y'all didn't see it, so that way y'all can get a little context of what's going on. And this is basically the clip of him, the warning clip. Roll the clip. Let's try it again. Roll the clip.
Let's talk about revenge porn. This is Erick Adame. He is an Emmy-nominated meteorologist in the New York State area who happens to be a gay man. Adame has performed sexually on camera for years off the clock and in the privacy of his own home, but eventually stopped appearing on webcam. An unknown person had taken screenshots of Adame while he was performing and sent these over a period of 6 months to his place of work, which is New York.
News on, bad boy? What would I see? Call me by my name.
Happy New Year, everyone. It's been a while since you've seen my face or really even heard my voice, and that's because it has been a rough couple of months for me. Of course, it was back in September when that news broke that those images had been sent to my work, to my mom, and then as a result of those images, I did lose my job at Spectrum News. Well, that news also gave what I can only call sexual predators the idea that I wanted to be exploited in any way, humiliated, and I don't want any kind of this attention that I've been receiving. What I do want is for these people to leave me alone. I'm hurt, and I wish that people would focus more on the fact that these videos exist when they shouldn't exist, as opposed to the salacious details that people have really been kind of going on and on and on about. But let me explain how this all happened. I assumed that once I closed my laptop, that anything that happened on camera would only exist in memory. But instead, those video sessions were recorded by people, and then sometimes these bots, and these bots are like scripts that automatically run on the computer or the website that record those webcam sessions and then post them on a website. And that's all done without your knowledge or permission. And many of these websites then have a download available where you can download the entire video for a fee even. That means, someone out there makes money off you doing sexual activity on camera without you even knowing. So I say this again. To all the sexual predators out there, I did not want any of these pictures or videos out there, and I don't want them shared. And I don't enjoy being humiliated and treated like a sexual object. And to everyone else, obviously lesson learned here, but you don't need me to tell you this, that the internet is an extremely dangerous place. And anything that you put out there on the internet is going to be out there for wherever I go, it's just surrounding me. And it's the elephant in the room in every interview. And I don't know about you, but there are words that you don't want to use in an interview, like sex, scandal, nude images, like those words together, those are really uncomfortable things to bring up in an interview. So it's been tough. I haven't landed a job yet, but I've had some really great conversations, and they've been in the most surprising places. And there are several stations in the Deep South where I've had great conversations with those news directors. So that gives me hope that the right position is going to come along and someone's going to give me that second chance that I've been asking for. This is the job for me. And it's been my dream since I was a little kid to be a meteorologist on television. I achieved that dream. This is a setback, and then I'm going to do it again.
When you got to the moment when New York One said, unfortunately, we do have to part ways, what was that support system like from your coworkers once they all found out why you had to leave?
There was a bit of shock when I was terminated, because it was days later when I would just start breaking into tears. It's been over a year and I'm still getting emotional now talking about it, but I loved my job so much. I loved the people that I worked with. They were my work family, and I didn't even get to say goodbye to any of them. I worked there for 15 years. 15 years. I grew up with them, and I didn't get to say goodbye. And I think that's the crappiest part about all of this, is not being able.
Yeah, so I had no idea that he was at New York One for 15 years. And then he goes on to talk about how it all started that he just, did, it was a couple of people at first when he did the sessions on Chatterbait. And then there was one day where he was on, and I guess somebody recognized him, and he noticed the numbers were going up and up and up and up. So I guess what the person who recognized him said, oh, this guy from the weatherman from New York One is on this thing doing sexual acts of himself, where he's into humiliation and he likes sticking things up his butt. So yes, he said that, yeah, everybody knows what I'm into sexually. Everybody knows I'm a bottom. Everybody knows that I like, that I'm into like rough sex and all these other things. And he did realize, like, in the end, where he was putting out all this stuff, where it was like, where people on the thing were write this and put your information out there, and him doing a whole thing of like saying the sexual stuff about how he wants his boss to have sex with him. And he said there was a lot of things that was going on. And at first he wasn't fired. They had called him in, with HR, and they were like, you need to remove those videos. And he was doing everything he could. He was like under a lot of stress trying to remove the videos. But you have to realize, once you, like he said earlier in one of the earlier clips, once you start putting things out there, you have these bots and algorithms and stuff that starts curating information and videos, and then this starts going to the porn hubs and the X videos and other stuff. Your footage will end up on those things. I have a lot of friends who do content online, and they talk about how they have to pay to have a lot of stuff, a lot of their videos removed from illegal sites, because it's on there and they're losing money when they're, this is people who actually are into adult films, OnlyFans, whatever. This is their career. He was also, speaking of OnlyFans, he was also asked if he would join an OnlyFans and launch one because of all the stuff that's going on, and he said no, because he wants to get back into being a weatherman. Like, that's his lifelong dream. He's wanted to do that since he was a kid. And this whole situation, and look, we all have our kinks, we all have our things that we're into in the privacy of our own home, but at the same time, Eric, I'm not victim blaming and all this other stuff, but you have to realize that there are rules when it comes to, especially when you're working in these family-friendly environments like a New York One. I'm sure they have a written clause in your paperwork, or, when you're part of New York, they have those at will, fire situations where it's like, at any time they feel they could fire you over any little thing. And they're all about family values, having this perfect little image that they have to uphold. And if they have this guy that's there doing the weather, like me personally, I would have been watching you way harder at the news channel, New York One, when I had Spectrum. to see, because I'm like, ooh, who's this hot piece of ass? And I'm looking at him, and don't get me wrong, that's what I remember before I even knew about this stuff. When I would see Eric Adame on screen, I'm like, oh, he's cute. And that had me interested in looking at him, because, when you see the cuties, that makes me perk up even more and want to watch them. But then when this extra T came out, because I've had people send me videos, and I never saw his sessions on Chatterbait, but I had somebody send me video footage of him performing sexual acts and stuff. So I happened to see it and all that other stuff. But the reality of it all is like, yeah, once you go on social media, you start exposing yourself, and you even at some point started telling people, giving them hints about your profession and what you do. So it was more like probably an ego thing, dopamine boost, all of it. So he said there was no drugs involved, not even alcohol. It was just poppers. Because when I guess he was inhaling poppers when he was inserting the toys up in him and whatever, when he was opening up the booty hole and all those things. So overall, I say all this to say I do feel bad for him, and I hope that he there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and that he will be able to find a resurgence of sorts and be able to go back to his dream job wherever it takes him. He talked about a lot of things, but if y'all want to read the full article, because it's a pretty long article, it's probably like 4-minute read, you can definitely head over to my website, KrisAvalon.com, and definitely check it out, because I know there's a lot of people that have checked it out. It's got a lot of views, because it's funny how anytime I talk about anything sexual, the people, the numbers go up, especially about gays and stuff. Y'all just love all the gay salacious stuff. So